Lesson 2, the power of thoughts and feelings. Fight through the service and then fight again. Lesson 2, today is Friday, July the 10th, 2026. Okay, lesson 2, the power of thoughts and feelings. You can change your life and you can change your relationships because you have an unlimited ability to think positive thoughts. When you think about what you want and what you love, you bring everything good in life to you, including good people and good relationships. According to the law of attraction, what you think is the primary cause of everything in your life. That includes your health, your job, your financial situation, your living conditions, and all of your relationships. Whatever you think about you, bring about, which means that everything you see and experience in this world is effect. The cause is always your thoughts. If you're concerned that a random thought that pops into your head could change the course of your life, you can relax. You think so many thoughts in a day that don't amount to anything because many of your thoughts don't elicit a strong feeling within you. Your thoughts are amplified when strong feelings are added to them. You always have strong feelings when you believe your thoughts to be true. Let me explain it this way. Imagine your thoughts as a rocket ship and your feelings as the fuel. A rocket ship is a stationary vehicle that can't do anything without fuel because the fuel is the power that lifts the rocket ship. It's the same with your thoughts. Without your feelings, your thoughts don't have the same power. While your thoughts remain the primary cause of everything, you have feelings. Your feelings are the accelerant to make your thoughts manifest faster. The stronger you feel about something, you are thinking about it, the more power you are adding to that thought. And the sooner that thought manifests in your life. Your feelings also serve another purpose. They help you to know what kind of thoughts you're thinking. Good thoughts always cause good feelings, whereas bad thoughts cause bad feelings. So if you want to know whether you're thinking positive or negative thoughts, just be aware of how you're feeling. Whenever you're feeling good, you can be certain that the thoughts you've been thinking have also been good. Whenever you don't feel good, it's a sign that you've been thinking negative thoughts and you will want to pay more attention to what you're thinking. How you feel about any given relationship is also caused by your thoughts about that relationship. If you feel happy or grateful about a relationship, for example, then you know you've been thinking positive thoughts about it. If you feel angry or frustrated about a relationship, then you know you've been thinking negative thoughts about it. If you think, I can't stand my boss, there's likely a strong negative feeling that comes with that thought. And by the law of attraction, you will attract situations where your relationship with your boss continues to get worse. If you think, I work with some fabulous people in my job, there's likely a strong positive feeling that comes with that thought. And you will attract situations where your relationships with your work colleagues continue to get even better. Or to put it in simple terms, the more good thoughts you think, the better you feel and the better life gets. The more bad thoughts you think, the worse you feel and the worse life gets until you change how you're thinking. One woman had been at the same job for 10 years and was very unhappy. not so much with the work she did, but more with the people she worked with. The problem was that she was surrounded by gossip, constant complaining, and negativity. And without realizing it, she had been drawn into behave the same way. Like her colleagues, she found that she never had anything nice to say. Once she became aware of her part in all this, she made a conscious effort to be happy and enthusiastic in her work and to avoid all gossip. The response was virtually instantaneous. Within days, she began to enjoy her work, and by refusing to feed into the negativity, she found that the gossipers and complainers no longer shared their gripes with her. She made no effort to avoid them. She simply elected to see the best in them, which meant that she saw less and less of them. Meanwhile, she found herself surrounded by a new set of work friends who were fun and positive and enjoyed spending time together. Better still, one of these New York friends went on to become her boyfriend, and they have plans to marry. Simply by thinking good thoughts and remaining positive in her job, this woman not only attracted better relationships, she transformed her whole life. Change any relationship. When you change the way you think about a relationship, you change the thoughts you are emitting, and the relationship must change to mirror your new way of thinking. It's as simple as that. Even if you can't imagine how a particular relationship can change into something positive, know that it can. If you're in a challenging relationship with someone, there's a very simple and powerful practice you can use that takes just a few minutes each day. Simply feel love within your heart for the other person. Then open your heart and send that love out into the universe. Just doing this one thing helps to remove any resentment, anger, or negativity you might have within you toward that person. On the other hand, you will never improve a relationship with negativity. Feeling resentment, anger, or any negative emotion toward another person attracts it back to you. When you are feeling love, it attracts love back to you. What you are feeling for another, you are bringing to you. If you find it difficult to feel good about a particular person or relationship, then focus on loving everything else around you. And do the very best you can to stop giving your attention to any of the negative things in your relationship. You have the power to change anything because you are the one who chooses your thoughts and you are the one who feels your feelings. This means you can change any negative relationship in your life, but you can't change it by remaining negative. You can't change it with negative thoughts and negative feelings. You have to react differently to the relationship because if you keep reacting negatively, those thoughts will magnify and multiply any negativity. When you have good thoughts and good feelings, the good things in the relationship must magnify and multiply. Two best friends fell out over something quite trivial. But when they didn't speak for months, it appeared as though their friendship had come to an end. One of the women was so upset, she felt as though she had fallen into an unhappiness hole. Eventually, she decided to change her life for the better. And so she committed to being positive and feeling happy, despite a number of stressful things going on in her life. She managed to elevate herself to a point where she was feeling fulfilled. Around this time, a mutual friend asked her if she'd made up with her best friend. She answered, no, they hadn't spoken, but she was sure that soon they would be friends once again. That night, she found herself in such a good mood that she felt compelled to make a list of all the blessings in her life. She went to bed feeling better than she had in a long time. The very next morning, she received a message from her best friend saying how much she missed their friendship and how sorry she was that they had fought. For these two best friends, it was not until they were able to elevate their thoughts about one another that the law of attraction was able to reunite them. Um, the power of feeling good. Whenever you are faced with a negative situation in a relationship, the solution is always to think good thoughts and feel good despite what is happening in the relationship. You won't know how it will be solved. But if you maintain your positive thoughts and feel good, it will happen. When you are feeling good, then only people who are on the same frequency as you are can come into your life. Just be aware that feeling love toward people who you might be having a difficult time with doesn't mean you let them walk all over you or abuse you. That's certainly not love either. Allowing another person to use you doesn't help that person, and it surely doesn't help you. The answer is get yourself into the highest frequency of good feeling that you can, and the law of attraction will resolve the situation for you. If you maintain your frequency of good feelings, while someone in your life remains at a negative frequency, the law of attraction will keep you apart. The relationship ended between two people is the result of the two people no longer being on the same frequency. When the frequencies of people are no longer a match, the law of attraction automatically responds by moving them apart. It can be quite fascinating to see the way the law of attraction reacts to the change in frequencies of people. One young woman met a man straight out of high school who swept her up in a whirlwind romance. She left her hometown. She left her hometown, her family, and her friends to follow him far away in search of work and a new life. They married a couple of months later. However, she soon discovered a dark side to her new husband in the form of substance abuse, as well as some undiagnosed mental problems. Through his frequency of anger, he constantly lashed out at the first person he saw, his wife. He was verbally abusive, hurling the most demeaning insults her way. With no support network of family and friends, she was unable to cope or to think enough good thoughts to lift her own frequency. She fell into a deep depression. For 5 years, for 5 long years, she endured a loveless, abusive marriage, spending much of her time trying to avoid this angry man in her own house. Eventually, she came to understand that only she could turn her life around and restore her own happiness. As if by coincidence, within weeks of receiving that insight, she and her husband decided to return to her hometown in search of work. As luck would have it, she found a great job straight away, and she connected with friends and family. Excuse me. She was beginning to feel herself again for the first time in many years. But for her husband, things only got worse. He was unwilling to accept his wife's newfound success and happiness. Unknown caller. Give me a minute. 1 minute. Hello? I don't know why this woman called me and then she hangs up. Yeah. Oh, Jesus. Yes. You called just a minute ago. Hello? Jeez, this person's crazy. I'm gonna block her. So I don't have to worry about her calling me back no more. Because I don't have time for stupidity. Okay, she finally left her husband as she came to realize that she was worthy of a far better life. A short time later, she was invited out to dinner with friends. Afterward, they decided on a whim to stop in at a new bar in town. The moment she walked in the door, her eyes were drawn to the back of the room. There she saw the familiar face of a boy she had dated in high school. In fact, the last boyfriend she had before meeting her husband. A mutual friend pulled her aside and told her that this man had carried a torch for her for all these years. Apparently, he had never had another serious girlfriend and friend, as he'd been waiting for her all this time. Intrigued, she approached him and they reminisced a while. She confirmed the story that he had hoped and prayed she would come back home one day. He convinced himself that if she did, then it was a sign that they would be together forever. The longer they spoke, the more she came to realize that he was everything she had dreamed about in a partner, and a new romance blossomed. They are now together, deliriously happy, and they plan to marry. For this woman, her ex husband's abuse and anger caused her to think negatively about the situation she found herself in. And those negative thoughts not only made her feel bad, but led her into depression. It was only when she was able to change her frequency through positive thoughts of love and happiness that she could break free from her ex husband. Once she was feeling good again, then only people on the same frequency could come into her life. So it is no surprise that the law of attraction delivered love to this woman in the form of her original high school sweetheart. The power is in you. It doesn't matter how difficult or damaged the relationship is. If you want to change it, you can begin to do so by simply changing your thoughts and changing your frequency. Everything that you've received in your life is a result of what you've been thinking and how you're feeling. And that goes for all of your relationships, past and present. It also means that any difficult relationships that you might be experiencing were attracted by your own past thoughts and feelings. Often when people first hear this part of the secret, they recall past difficult or even abusive relationships. They find it incomprehensible that anyone could have attracted that situation. No one would deliberately attract a challenging or difficult relationship into their life. But if your wish is to repair or resolve a difficult relationship, it is helpful to understand that you attracted it for a reason. Most of the time, we attract difficult situations to ourselves to wake ourselves up to the inherent power we hold. You have a choice right now. Do you want to believe that it's just the luck of the draw and bad things can happen to you at any time? Do you want to believe that you have no control over your relationships or the way people treat you? Or do you want to believe and know that your life experience is now in your hands? Do you want to know that only good people, good circumstances, and good relationships can come into your life because of the way you think? You have a choice. And whatever your choice and whatever you choose to think will become your life experience. Understand that no one can come into your life and affect you negatively unless you are on the same frequency. When you change your thoughts and raise your frequency, it won't matter how difficult or negative someone is. They will not and cannot affect you. And if that results in a difficult relationship coming to an end, don't despair. Don't despair. Repeat to yourself, all good is coming from this situation. And it will. Learn from each experience. You will find that after experiencing the breakup of a difficult relationship, in time, your level of joy will be higher than it has ever been before. Every relationship in your life is there for a reason, teaching you something and taking your life forward. So often when things change in your lives, we have such resistance to the change. But it is important to remember that when something big changes in your lives, it means something better is coming. There cannot be a vacuum in the universe. And so as something moves out, something must come in and replace it. When changes comes, relax, have total faith, and know that the change is all good. So don't be afraid of change, especially in your relationships. Remember that every single thing that happens is ultimately for good, for the good of each of us. It is not what happens, but what we do with the opportunity and how we choose to look at it that matters. The universe has to move things out to allow the better and move wonderful things to appear. Realize this change is happening because a more magnificent relationship is coming to you. Something better is coming. Okay, that's the end of our lesson.